Hello guys and welcome. In today's video we're gonna talk about Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy franchise, okay? It almost feels like a lot of people are, really scared to talk about the game, to criticize it, okay? Because criticism, what people don't realize is that it's often those who are the most passionate players, those who love the game the most, are actually the one who actually criticize it. You see? And often when you criticize something, people start to hate you, you know, and they think bad about you. But I don't care about that. At the end of the day, we're all here because we love the game and because we want to see it improved. And in my opinion, Japanese gaming studio, and this is true for general gaming industry, is that they're really outdated. You know, they lack innovation, and in my opinion, they really know how to make great games, but they don't know how to make complete games. Okay, and Final Fantasy or Monster Hunter franchise is a typical example. There is so much potential, but they're not using it. For example, the lack of social interaction. In Final Fantasy, the game who is supposed to be designed around social interaction, you don't even have chat bubbles. You don't even have chat bubbles that pop on screen to see which player said that. For better social interaction, all you do is watch chat box in the corner of a screen. That's such a bad social interaction. Right, and that's just the tip of the iceberg, you see. And you see, criticism is at the end of the day, we just criticize the games because we want to see them improved. And I feel like a lot of people don't really talk about the actual issues, right? They don't really talk what's the problem, like outdated action combat, the lack of social features, right? And at this point, Final Fantasy is almost, Final Fantasy 14 is like a 15-year-old game. I think it's about time they start to make a better game, a new game. You can only improve this game so much. You have to start a new chapter. And in my opinion, if you are working at MMORPG or MOBA style gaming studios, you should really watch one of the best gaming animation that Tencent made, called the King's Avatar animation. And you can really learn how to actually make complete MMORPG or MOBA game. You see? Because now, what can we learn from the King's Avatar animation, one of the best gaming animation out there? How important are social features like chat bubbles that appear above people's head, server announcers. Every time a guild clears a first boss clear, or every time there is a fastest boss kill set, it is announced on the whole server, and we even have leaderboards for it. And this really promotes community interaction, competitive spirit, fun. And I feel like this is what some of these Japanese games are missing. You see, they put a lot of effort and emphasis on teamwork, but not on a competitive spirit that make this game fun, right? Imagine how huge a raiding scene could be in Final Fantasy if they would only have like server announcements for first boss kill or fastest boss kill. You see, every time a guild set a new record for fastest boss kill, it could be announced on the whole server, and this will be the best guild out there. Or for example, in Monster Hunter franchise, when you return back to the city is empty. There is no people walking around, there's just NPCs standing there. The game doesn't feel alive. Because, the lack of innovation, the lack of open world elements, you see, a lot of Japanese people, they have really good morals and they always wanna be good for others. They always wanna appear good for others, and they have high standards for themselves, and I respect that. But if you are working in such big industries, you have to be innovative, you have to understand your player base. If you just surround yourself with people that never criticize you and people that are only they never go beyond. You see, this is a really good explanation here, okay? Now, what is a good worker? You see, if you have a bad worker, you're gonna fire them immediately, right? But if you have an average worker, you're never gonna fire him, but he will never take you to the next level. You see? And this is one of the problems with Final Fantasy. It's they think that competitive spirits and fun is the same as being toxic. This is one of the biggest mistakes they made. They think that being the competitive spirit, why we love this game, being competitive is something that is bad for the game. It's not. It's literally why most people even play games and multiplayer games in the first place. I mean, people can always be toxic. You can always implement filters for bad words, for example. But you guys don't even have chat bubbles. A basic social feature that was in MMORPG games 20 years ago. And then people always say, yeah, but that will clutter the screen. I mean, you can always implement like limitation filters like that. You can only make one chat bubble every 5 seconds, or no curse words, you know, for example. And this will be 3 times better social interaction than just watching chat box in the corner of your screen. Like, why are you then even call it a social game when you don't have basic social features, right? Then we also have the lack of, I need to drink something. The lack of social, the lack of good action combat, right? The game doesn't, you see, this is one of the mistakes they did. They have a too big of a global cooldown timer between the abilities, right? It's like 1.5 or 2 seconds before you can cast another ability, right? And but the problem is this was almost required because they made all these crazy long big animations and they thought this is how you make a good game. The game really needs a better action combat, more fluid, less time between abilities. You need to be able to move when you cast your abilities. Just check how Smite does it. You know, Smite is not that complex game, but Smite was released like 10 years ago. And it was still probably has better action combat than most games today. Or we have Distriga, or Pirate of the Black Cat, a 20-year-old games that have better action combat than most of these games today, you know? So they really need to make a better action combat, more fluid, make a classless system. This is what we can learn from Kirito or the King's Avatar animation. Make classless system, or like for example, I mean, everybody likes to have class, you know, but you have a blue mage, right? Why don't you balance blue mage for PvP? That could be so fun, but you guys don't even have balls to innovate. That's the problem, right? And then when some people who actually love your game so much and they dare to criticize it, then you guys think they're the bad guys, right? But how you guys have been designing the whole game and ignoring everybody else, all the competitive spirit, all the social features, all the PvP guys, I mean, you don't even know how to design PvE. You have no social, you have lack of social feature, you have no guilds fighting for fastest boss kills, you have no open world elements, you know. There's so much you can do, guys. There's so much you can still do. You just have to have a good base, you know. Good base. You don't need to do crazy things. You just need to add basic, more social features. Try to improve action combat, you see. Try to connect PvE and PvP elements better, you know. Like huge open world bosses that will attract whole server or guilds, you know. Make guilds meaningful. Set a leaderboard for fastest boss kills, okay? Or first boss kills on a new server. Man, that would be hype. Everybody will play Final Fantasy, every content creator, but you have to give them a reason to play your game. Not just make these endless quests and raids that just waste your time. That's one of the problems when I played Endwalker. I mean, it's basically, you know, you guys think you're just making content, but at the end of the day, you're just wasting my time. I don't want to spend days and days on these pointless quests that I'm not even interested in. I want to have community interaction. I want to have fun dungeons, bosses, you know. I want to have good action combat, good social system. This is what I want, you know, and I think many community members do too, you know. Without criticism, your game will never improve. And this is especially true for Japanese gaming studios, or I mean any gaming studios, like Blizzard, they're just rehashing 20-year-old content. Same with Smite 2. Same, they just wanna try to be another League of Legends. Dota, League of Legends, Wolf and Riot, or Tencent. Their games also lack innovation. Dota, they still think that the whole MOBA genre is designed around Dota, aka Conquest, aka Defense of the Asians. The origins of MOBA was never Dota. It was actually thousands upon thousands of community-made maps. So all these guys who have League of Legends, Dota 2, they're all outdated. You know, just like you guys, but hey, you know, gotta be fair. You know, I just have experience. I love games for 20 years now, and it's very important that we talk about these things and try to improve them, you know. But at the end of the day, Final Fantasy XIV is a 15-year-old game. I mean, just make a new one. And I mean, it's not even that hard. You don't need to spend insane amount of time and effort into making all this questing. You just need to, you know, have bosses, you just need to have good core, okay? Good action combat, good social system, fun open world elements that promote teamwork and competition. You see, Monster Hunter. Imagine how cool it would be if you would actually just be able to tame all these epic monsters and then proudly show it to your friends and enemies in the city. And the city would be full of people running around. The city would feel alive. This is what your games need. They need to feel more complete, okay? You already know how to make great games. You just need to, you know, add some elements into it so that they will feel more complete and they will feel more alive, you know? So let me know what you guys think about this, and you know, I just watched this video from Zipla, you know, and she's correct, like, I mean, but you know, we people evolve, you know. She was also not always the ones who was, you know, we evolve, and this is what life is all about. New things, okay? We have to maybe realize, okay, maybe this wasn't the best, maybe we can try this now, you know, maybe people will like it. You have to be more innovative, so you don't get driven over by the competition and time. Like your games, your franchise could be 3 times bigger if you will just do things right, you know? So, let me know what you guys think. I'm a bit tired, I'm sorry I couldn't do my best, but hey, see you in the next one.